Hello everyone, welcome to Cyber Platter. This is a video on ISC Square CCSP to help you prepare for the certification. Today we will cover part 6 of Domain 5 Cloud Security Operations. So we will learn how to communicate with relevant parties, that is vendors, regulators, customers, partners, right? So this communication plays a very important role. The communication between the provider, its customers, its suppliers, regulators, or any other stakeholders is very important for any environment. Okay. So we have to consider a few questions here when it comes to communication, like who is the target of the communication? What is the communication designed to achieve? When is the communication best delivered or most likely to reach its intended target? Where is the communication pathway best managed from? Why is the communication being initiated in the first place? How is the communication being transmitted? And how is it being received? Like this, okay? So first, let's talk about vendor and partner communications. So we should establish communication paths with all partners that will consume or support cloud services in the enterprise, okay? We should clearly identify and document all partner organizations, ensuring that the relationships between the partner and the enterprise are clearly understood. Okay. For example, if a partner is engaged through a federated relationship with the enterprise, they will have a different level of access to cloud services and systems than a non federated partner. While the partnership is in force, make sure the partner is managed under the existing security infrastructure as much as possible to ensure that access by exception is avoided at all costs. Okay. This ensures that the partner's access and activities are managed and examined according to the existing policies and procedures already in place for the organization, systems, and infrastructure. Like it is shown in this picture, right? We should consider onboarding, the management and offboarding of the partners and vendors. Like we should make sure that there is clearly defined onboarding process for all partners, allowing the partner to be thoroughly vetted prior to granting access to any systems. Okay. And when the partnership is terminated, right, we should not forget about the offboarding process. So we should make sure that there is clearly documented and well understood and communicated offboarding policy and procedure to terminate the partner's access to all the enterprise systems that the partner had access to before. Okay. Also, we should establish and test emergency communication paths with all vendors and partners. We should make note of all the key contacts, right? These are some of the basics that you should consider. So now let's see what are the supply chain vendor categories, okay? You can see in this picture, see that strategic supply, these are the suppliers. When it says operational, it is operational suppliers, tactical suppliers, commodity suppliers, strategic suppliers. Strategic suppliers are high risk, high cost, and high impact ones. Okay, remember that. So, supply chain risk management practices, you can get the reference from NIST 800 161. Okay, ISO 28000 also talks about supply chain. So categorizing or ranking vendor or supplier on some sort of scale is critical when appropriately managing the relationship with that vendor or supplier. So this picture here shows that risk impact is mapped against value and importance. Okay. One is strategic suppliers. Strategic suppliers are deemed to be mission critical and cannot be easily replaced if they become unavailable. Okay. While you will typically do business with very few of these types of partners, they are the most crucial to the success or failure of the enterprise cloud architecture. Strategic procurement is a systematic, long term, and holistic approach to acquiring current and future needs of an organization. Partners may be the fewest in number, but they are the most critical to the success of the buying organization. Okay, like I said before, they are high risk, high cost, and high impact ones. The next one is tactical suppliers. Tactical suppliers supplement strategic and commodity suppliers to manage emerging unforeseen issues and incidents. Tactical procurement, on the other hand, is a short-term transactional activity commonly practiced in small to medium-sized manufacturing organizations. Okay, this focuses on processes and procedures that can save time and money while also meeting customer demands and providing value. Tactical suppliers are mid-risk and mid-cost ones. The next one is operational suppliers. Operational procurement deals with meeting the daily purchasing needs of organization. Then the commodity suppliers. Commodity suppliers, on the other hand, provide goods and services that can easily be replaced and sourced from a variety of suppliers if necessary. So they are low risk and low cost ones. Okay. Now let's talk about customer communications. Organizations have internal customers and external customers. Okay. Both customer segments are important to the success of any cloud environment because both are typically involved in the consumption of cloud services in some way. Having a good understanding of the customer audience being addressed by the cloud is important because different audiences consume differently with different needs, goals, and issues that have to be documented, understood, managed, and tracked over the life cycle of the cloud environment. If the individual responsibilities are not clearly stated, the customer may assume the provider has responsibility for a specific area that may or may not be correct. This can lead to confusion and present legal and liability issues for both the customer and the provider if not addressed clearly and concisely. Okay. So this is where the SLAs come into the picture. SLAs are a form of communication that clarifies responsibilities. Appropriate SLAs should be in place to manage all services being consumed by each customer segment. These SLAs must define the service levels required by the customers as well as the customer specific metrics, which vary by customer type and need. So let's see some of the metrics that SLA considers. Okay, what percentage of the time services are available, the number of users that can be served simultaneously, specific performance benchmarks to which actual performance is periodically compared, the schedule for notification in advance of network changes that may affect users, help or service desk response time for various classes of problems, remote access availability, usage statistics that are provided. Like it goes on, okay? The list is never ending. The next one is how to communicate with the regulators. Early communication is essential with regulators when developing a cloud environment. Remember that, yeah? As a cloud service provider, we are responsible for ensuring that all infrastructure is compliant with the regulatory requirements that may be applicable to the enterprise. These requirements vary greatly based on several factors such as geography, like jurisdiction or location, business type, for example, medical or finance, right? Services provided like processing credit cards or personal data, data types like classification, sensitivity. Suppose say you're doing business only in medical field, but still you need to understand the other requirements as well, right? Because if regulatory standards or laws have to be implemented or adhered to, you need to understand all the requirements and expectations of compliance to ensure the enterprise is able to prove compliance when asked to do so. Aside from customers, vendors, partners, and regulators, you may find other stakeholders that need to be involved in your communication plans. This need may be based on a particular project or a request from a customer, vendor, partner, etc. Right? In any case, you must evaluate the communication needs of all stakeholders and determine what, how, and when to communicate with them. Okay? So this brings us to the end of part 6 of domain 5. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. See you again. Bye bye.